Is the colour of wine important? I think so. There's nothing worse than having a meal with friends and proudly presenting them with a bottle of your latest homebrew wine that looks like a bottle of muddy water. When I first started homebrewing, most of my brews ended up looking like a glass of cloudy urine.
Ugh.
That was until I discovered colour. So I started making crisp, clear and fresh rosé-looking wine. Of course, a rosé wine is made from grapes, but you can get a similar rosé-looking effect using certain red berries. I love making fruit wine, sometimes known as country wine, and I can get that nice rosé look by using a combination of various fruits and berries. But what if you want a really deep red, rich wine that looks something like a Merlot, but isn't made using grapes? Well, here's one way that I made a nice rich red wine, and I will tell you my secret natural tip for that really dark red effect. I started with some elderberries and a few sticks of rhubarb. Next I add some plums. These particular plums have a lot of strong red colour in their skins. I add even more plums, and all of them have their stones removed. I pour over some hot water and you can already see the colour coming out. I simmer it for about 20 minutes and then squeeze out the juice with a potato masher. I pour all the juice into a demijohn and add half of 1.1 kilograms of sugar melted in hot water. Look at that deep red colour. I will add the rest of the sugar in stages, which is called step feeding, because I have a feeling this is going to be a very lively fermentation. With the sugar and water added, the demijohn was filled to about the shoulder with plenty of headspace. I added 1 large squirt of lemon juice and then added a good heaped teaspoon of Lalvin EC 1118 yeast. The next day, the fermentation really got going, and that generous headspace didn't stop the liquid bubbling up through the airlock. I was right about the liveliness of this fermentation. But after a few days, it settled down, so I added more of the sugar. After 2 more days, I added what was left of the original 1.1 kilograms of sugar. And then I left it to sit fermenting nicely in a dark room at about 22 degrees centigrade. Now for my tip to help get that really rich red colour. I used beetroot juice. I like to eat beetroot, and when I boil it in a saucepan, I pour off the red juice into a sanitised jar and store it in a fridge for a few days. The juice adds a really unique, almost earthy taste, and of course, that deep red colour. So after 4 weeks, it has finished out at 1.000 and still looks amazing. With a starting gravity of 1.080 and allowing for the extra step feeding of the sugar, we've got a strong 14.5% wine. Let's pour a glass and take a taste. It has a rich, deep, ruby red colour and on the nose doesn't smell young at all. I can smell the plums and some fruity citrus notes. It tastes really good, with the fresh plums hitting the taste buds straight away. There was also a summer fruit taste and a slight tang at the back of the tongue when swallowing. This is one of my favourite wines that I make every year and will taste even better after a couple of months. Remember though that the deep red colour will lighten up over time, so use some dark bottles and store in a dark place. Or you could simply use it as an excuse to drink it now.